The Spectacular Stroll, CNY's not-so-scary Halloween experience for the family, is back. Walk through the half-mile trail in the Bewitched Woods at Long Branch Park in Liverpool every Thursday through Sunday in October from 5 to 9 p.m. Pack the car full of your little goblins. Admission is by the carload. Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital's Spectacular Stroll is presented by Upstate Honda Dealers. Get your pre-sale tickets today at spectacularstroll.com.
The Burdick BMW and Burdick Lexus postgame show presented by One Group and Holbrook Heating and Air Conditioning. Call in now on the Tom and Ellie DWITom.com hotline, 315-437-7644.
Okay, well, that just happened. 41-13. Pittsburgh. Another pick six. 41-13 Pittsburgh. Brian Higgins with you. Man, that went as haywire, as quickly as could possibly have happened. Not one, not two, but three Kyle McCord pick sixes thrown in the first half of the game. Pittsburgh scoring more points on defense than Syracuse scored in the game. McCord throwing 5 picks, matching the school record. Kyle still threw it 64 times today, second most in school history. Ended up with more than 300 yards. Empty calorie stats today in a game that Syracuse never really was in. Never really was in. So we're here late night. Not quite as late as our last couple of post games. All vibes still. Post game for those of you with us on Cuse Sports Talk, CuseSportsTalk.com, where we got the Labatt sign going. Might need a few of those after this one. Tonight, Syracuse just gets absolutely cracked. You heard it from Voice Guy there. We're here. Get on the couch. Come. Unburden yourselves. Late night, clean language. Unburden yourselves. 315-437-7644. 437-7644 for ESPN 44. It's our DWITom.com hotline. Just, let us know what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Kyle McCord in the game very late, and we're all having Stockholm syndrome sort of on the quarterback injuries of years past. Oronde Gadsden gets knocked out of the game. Hard to tell exactly. Could have been a head concussion the way it looked like he got hit in the back of the neck, back of the head, something like that. Pitt with the massive lead. They lose their quarterback to what looked like a concussion in the game, so they did not come out of it clean either. Man, just an ugly game today for the Orange, and one that it doesn't fit into what we've seen so far this season, right? Like even in the loss, even in Stanford when they came out of the first bye week gross and sluggish and slow, man, second half battle back, fight, and the last drive went sideways. Like tonight, it just is so far off of anything we've seen so far this season. Credit to Pitt's defense. This is not just on Syracuse. I mean, Pitt threw every type of zone scheme blitz in the book at him in the first half. They were crowding the line of scrimmage, dropping guys all over the place. Like, it had to be a confusing look for McCord at many times with just how much was going on out there that, you can sort of understand how it's difficult. I mean, Pitt and Pat Narduzzi are certainly known for their excellent defenses over the years, but man, the interceptions, the tips, it was bad decisions, bad throws, bad luck. I mean, it was every possible combination of those things in the early going, and once the hole was dug, there was no way out of it. Should have known. On Larry Fitzgerald Day, we should have known when the schedule came out that wasn't going to go well. Now, the losing streak in Pittsburgh for Syracuse extends now to 11 games. Syracuse still has only won one game in that building, and it was back in the first game they played in that building back in 2001. So 41-13 the final. Pitt all over Syracuse. The Orange fall to 5-2. Pitt remains unbeaten. I said it before the game. It remains true after. Unfortunately, not the way we'd like. The winner of this game was going to insert themselves directly in the middle of the race to the ACC title game. Pitt is in it, and Pitt, man, they got a difficult schedule down the stretch. They got SMU and Clemson coming up in 2 of their next 3 games. Well, they got a shot. they get a shot to play themselves into it. All right, as mentioned, come unburden yourself tonight. We'll try to get you some Fran Brown later in this hour. Always a little more difficult in the road games. We'll get you something before our time is done here today. But let's go to the phones, and we'll start with our guy Mark in New York City. Hey, Mark, not fun tonight.
Hey, Brian. Still digesting that one. Partial blame for Jordan for not wearing that onesie.
Yeah.
I knew it was bad vibes when he didn't wear that onesie. Obviously it seemed like McCord had almost no time to throw, and he was just kind of thrown in the middle of the field. And, we've seen this in years past with, the Syracuse O-line, and we've had that conversation multiple times. And, we didn't have Eric Dungy, Garrett Schrader making magic and, trying to get around and rushing and, making the offense work. And so, it was really frustrating to not see any adjustments from the offense, no, bubble screen passes to wide receivers, quick throws. That's what it seems could have worked, and not these rush throws in the middle of the field that ended up in interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thought. Also really tough to see Yassine Willis get hurt in garbage time. That didn't look good. And, I was just looking at the depth chart. We don't even have anyone behind Yassine Willis. I think it's a true freshman. So if we're only kind of down to LaQuint Allen, that's a little scary. And then I just kind of end on a positive note. I thought Emmanuel Ross looked really good. I think he has a bright future here. So I was pretty excited about that. Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you, Mark. Ross did look good. If we want to, grab small positives out of it, he led the team in receiving yardage. 5 catches, 78 yards, had a long of 37, all career highs, of course, as he has not played a ton with injury and being a freshman and all that. And, the Yassine Willis ankle being rolled up didn't look great late. That was the other true freshman running back, Jaden Hart, who came in to take the last few snaps of the game at running back. But, man, just, not great. And to Mark's point, like the first drive of the second half, that 18-play, 9.5-minute, 4 third-down conversion, touchdown plunge drive, there was a lot of the screens and the this and the that Mark talked about, but it was too little, too late at that point, for sure. All right, let's keep it rolling on the phones. Again, phone lines open. Our DWITom.com hotline at 315-437-7644. Next up, we're going all the way to the West Coast. We got Mikey out in L.A. Hey, Mikey, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. I just want to congratulate Kyle McCord on a 7th straight 300-yard passing game. That's nothing like we've ever seen here at Syracuse. Not even Donovan McNabb can say he's done that. But yeah, to be real, I honestly the defense did not look half bad. They did their job when they had to. But yeah, just brutal, and the momentum was just not in our favor. As soon as that first one went through, I feel like I knew. I was like, this is not going to go the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, I'd say the second that first pick six happened, and that was not very long into the game. What was the time? There was 12:47, so it was less than 2.5 minutes into the game. That was like, uh-oh. Like we've seen other games, right, where they've recovered from stuff like that. But, man, the history of Pitt, everything we've been through in that stadium over the years, that was not a good feeling. And then when it happened again, you're like, oh, man, this is not going to be the night, is it?
Yeah, it was brutal. But in all honesty, I don't, and I know Twitter is going to go crazy about how Kyle McCord is trash and all this stuff.
Oh, they are.
In reality, he is not trash. I just want to put that out there to people. We, as Syracuse fans, are blessed to have him on our team. Like this was a terrible game, terrible showing, and I know it's gonna be on his shoulders. But our O-line was like Swiss cheese. I felt like our receivers were not getting any separation whatsoever. So it is a lot of it's on him, but there's a lot of other things that could have gone one way or the other that could have changed the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, if the defense, I agree. The defense actually played pretty well tonight. Like they didn't surrender 5 interceptions. 35 of the 41 points were off turnovers. Like 3 of the touchdowns directly scored by the defense. I'll say, and Marlo Wax, Marlo's return. He actually played like the whole game until garbage time. He actually looked reasonably decent and got called for that bogus roughing the passer. But yeah, just the offensive line. McCord didn't have time. He was throwing some kind of wacky passes. Pitt plays aggressive man coverage. Syracuse couldn't get free. It was all of that tonight, Mike. It was all of that.
Yeah, but 300-yard passing. We still can go for 12 games in a row with 300 yards passing and beat Eric Dungy's record.
There we go. I like it, Mikey. Yeah, it's 7 straight. It is a school record. Thanks for the call, Mike. Calling from L.A. We like that. We're coast to coast. We've gone literally the top 2 markets in the country. We've started off New York and L.A. tonight. Big time here. We're big time on the post-game show after Syracuse getting absolutely rocked in the Steel City tonight, 41-13. The final score. Pitt remaining undefeated at 7-0. Syracuse falling to 5-2 with the loss. We're going to take your calls throughout this hour. Unburden yourself. Just let it out. Let it out. Those of you staying up, keeping the eyelids open, that was not fun. Our DWITom.com hotline remains open, 315-437-7644. We'll get closer to home with our next phone call, and we go with our guy Steve in North Syracuse. Steve, not a great night here. What do you got?
I thought it was a great night. We outgained them 327 to 223. We had 23 first downs to 13, and time of possession for us was 41 minutes and 12 seconds. For Pittsburgh, 18 minutes and 23 seconds. So it's no surprise the final score was 41 to 13 with those numbers.
Yeah, that all actually does. If you ignore the other columns, Steve, that math all makes sense. I'd say we just roll with it.
Yeah, I thought McCord was just plain terrible tonight. I realize Pitt puts a lot of pressure on you, but I really thought the line, for the most part, kept them off of McCord. He wasn't exactly running for his life in this game, and he just made some terrible throws. Now, Pitt did a great job of covering receivers. There was, wherever McCord threw, there was always a Pitt guy right there. But still, some of the throws were thrown, right to where the defender was. The third pick six was an inside screen or something to Allen, who had like 3 Pitt guys holding on to him as the ball got there. Yeah. A lot of bad judgments, a lot of bad throws, a lot of sideline throws. Obviously, they're going to whatever the defense gives them. Pitt didn't really give them anything, but of the 64 throws, I think it was, I'll bet 50 of them were to the sidelines, and it grew very almost tiresomely predictable. It was almost like the old days when Dino Babers never threw up the middle, and we really could have tested them there. Also, we have a great passing attack, but it's a passing attack that's mostly a short or medium passing attack, and we have to score with drives that have 10 or 12. I think one of them had like 19 plays, and you cannot have anything go wrong if you're going to proceed in increments down the field like that. Anything that puts you off schedule can ruin the whole drive. What we're missing is a guy like Zeed Haynes, who provided a deep threat that we don't seem to have anymore. So we're having to try to pick the defense apart bit by bit, and it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, I'm looking at this here, Steve. The Orange had 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 5 drives tonight that were 10 or more plays. And out of the 5 drives, 1 ended on downs, 2 in a touchdown, 1 in interception, 1 in a punt. So they had 5 drives that were like comically long drives. They only scored on 2 of them. So that is quite to your point.
Yeah. Well, maybe next week it'll be different. At least we get to watch the game Saturday without having to watch an SU game in the middle of it.
There we go. Yeah, we'll get to hang out on Saturday and see what's going on all day long. Thank you, Steve. As always, there's Steve with the call. We've gone New York City to Los Angeles, back here to home to Steve in North Syracuse to kick it off here tonight. All right, we're off and running. We'll get you some Fran Brown before the end of the hour. Give a ring, 315-437-7644. Great group in the chat as always. CuseSportsTalk.com on Twitch, and the Cuse Sports Talk page on YouTube as well is popping tonight. We'll chat with you guys during the break. Come join in here over the course of the next hour. We'll be here till midnight or so tonight. Breaking this down seems to be the wrong term. It broke down tonight. Like, it was broken down. There's not a lot of analysis for this one, but we can commiserate. We can make ourselves feel a little bit better here as we get to the late night. DWITom.com hotline is available. 315-437-7644. First break now. Talk to you all on the other side here on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. Oh, yeah. Scooter was at the he was at the fan cave at the Yellow Brick tonight. Bixby, that's where Scooter's at. What's up, chats? In plural, YouTube, Twitch, everybody? How are we? Oh, man. Actually, Zach, I think it might randomly mean that's going to be the primetime kick, Zach. A little birdie says that Syracuse, the winner was going to get an ESPN slot, and the loser might get the ACC primetime game. So this may mean that we're getting an 8 o'clock kick for Virginia Tech. I do not know that officially, but that was the midweek potential speculation. Yeah, they can still have a good season. Like, you lost on the road at Pitt. It's happened before. Oh, man. Yeah, CBW, we only do late night post games. I don't work in the late. I work here in mood lighting with the bat signs. I don't work in the day. Daylight savings time ends this weekend, too. It'll be extra dark. Oh, man. They're still 5-2, people. Things are okay. Things are okay. We just need it not to completely implode like the last 2 years. Get money. I mean, Fran has coached 7 games ever. Let's give him a minute. Man. Stinger, yeah, I'd believe that, Theo Cuse. It looked like he got a helmet to the back of the neck, was what I thought the first time they showed the replay. So if that was a stinger, I would believe it. Now, if it happens again next week and the week after, we can reapproach the cliff. How is this a must-win game, Clown World commentator? You're trying to prove your name? Like, it wasn't a must-win game. It was a must-win game if you want to win the league. Must-win for what? Yeah, I mean, it's possible, like, your hands, big dog, like, if you get a stinger in the neck, like, you get a stinger, you get the numbing, tingly sensation in your arm, so he may have just been trying to get that back, like, if it's a stinger. It'll tingle, like, it tingles, you get, like, the numbing arms thing. So it looked like you took a helmet, like, right there. Oh, not fun. Not fun. Best I could tell, the gist of that, Zach, was like, you're still my guy. Yeah, only Wagner after bye weeks.
This is the Burdick Ford, Burdick Toyota, Burdick BMW, and Burdick Lexus postgame show presented by One Group and Holbrook Heating and Air Conditioning. Call in now on the Tom and Ellie DWITom.com hotline, 315-437-7644.
All right, we're back at it here on this late nights Thursday. You heard the number. Oh, yeah. We don't care what time it is. Our phones work at all hours. 315-437-7644. Join us in the chat, QSportsTalk.com or QSportsTalk on YouTube. We got crowds in both tonight. You don't need to go to work tomorrow morning. Come on. Your boss will be fine. Your boss is probably in the chat, too. The burner account. Don't worry about it. You're all good. Just hang out. Give us a ring, 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44 at DWITom.com hotline. is open and available. We'll get you some Fran Brown in due time tonight, either from his press conference or his post-game conversation with Matt Park. That'll be happening on TK99 sooner than later. But we got lots of stuff right now. Let's get back to the phones. Where are we going? We're going through Eric in White Plains is next up. Eric, what's going on?
Brian, thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely.
I flew in today from New York to Pittsburgh to go to the game.
My condolences.
And you're not kidding. There were quite a few Syracuse fans. The stadium was maybe 2/3 full.
Yeah, that's about right for a Pitt game. Yep.
Yeah. I'm a season ticket holder, and our team was off for a week. We came in totally unprepared. The kids on the team, there was no emotion. We were flat. You could feel from the beginning of that quick pick three that we were in trouble from the beginning. The offensive line didn't do well. Our running game is non-existent. We don't have a runner. There's no power. 6'3", 6'4" guy that can hand the ball, who can go 10, 15 yards. No deep threats. It was totally embarrassing. I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, it's one game, doesn't make the season. This game could have been 60-0.
It felt that way, Eric. And I kind of agree with both your points there, right? It's one game and doesn't make the season, but man, tonight was embarrassing. And I think I think that's what we all need to come to grips with after a night like this, that both of those things can be true, right?
Pittsburgh didn't play that well.
No, they're not on offense, that's for sure.
Yeah, our defense did a decent job. But again, we have a lot of problems. We have no kicking game. There's no field goal team. I mean, even if we were close in the first half to get a 3, we have no confidence in our kicking game. Running back, I think, how many yards did we have total in running? Maybe 20 yards in the whole game?
Hang on a second here. Just a moment. Well, let's see. Total rushing yards in the game was 6. If you remove the sack yardage, we can juice it up to 38 without the sack yardage.
That's pretty pathetic. And we really, I don't know if it's the line, but we don't have anybody out there that is able to break a big game. Yes, we can get 5 or 6, but I remember years ago, I believe it was Clemson had a runner called Etienne. I mean, this guy would just break a line and go 80 yards, 90 yards. We're too small, too slow running backs. Way too slow, way too small. And the passing by McCord, and he's had a pretty good season. His passes were way off today. I mean, there were tips. They made the right play. There was one play where we intercepted, and they said it was roughing the quarterback. I thought it was a pretty poor call.
Yeah, that was a bad call. That was like that was universally agreed on. That was a terrible call at the time.
And there was another play when Arandi was going in, and he could have caught the ball for a touchdown. It may have changed things a little bit in the first half. But there's no question. I mean, we got to give Fran Brown time. But you're coming into Pittsburgh 5-1 against the 6-0 team. You have a week off. You looked absolutely flat and not ready to play. That's not a good coach. Our coach did not have our players ready.
Yeah, they didn't. You're right, and I say you look at McCord on his first drive before the interception. Like, he had a pass that like uncharacteristically sailed high on him. He looked off on the first possession of the game that then eventually ended up in that tipped pick 6. And yeah, it was a mess from the beginning, Eric, and it never really got better
Total
tonight.
Mess. Now, before I let you go, before you let me go, they're playing home Virginia Tech next Saturday. What time is the game?
I would love to tell you the answer to that, Eric. We don't know yet. The ACC and ESPN have held back every ACC game time until after the results of this weekend. We should know officially either late night Saturday after the games are complete or early Sunday. So unfortunately, because it's annoying, I can't answer the question.
Yeah, I'm guessing it will be a 12 o'clock game because of this performance. Had we won, it would be probably a 7, 8 o'clock game. They'll probably put us back at 12 o'clock because who's going to want to watch us?
Well, that is the problem with games like this, is it not, Eric? Regardless
You're
of
not kidding.
regardless of time, you dropped
it. Night, and thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely, Eric. Call anytime. There he is, Eric in White Plains. Well, I guess he's in Pittsburgh. He flew to the game tonight. Actually, I again, grain of salt. What I'm telling you right now is not a fact. It is. Let's go with educated speculation. That the winner of the game tonight, Pittsburgh, clearly is going to get the better TV slot next week. They play SMU. That game has legitimate impact future in the ACC this year. Therefore, it is probably going to get placed on one of the ESPN time slots, which actually might be, instead, it's the opposite of what Eric was thinking. That might be noon. It sounds like that Syracuse might actually be in line to take us late night again, have the ACC road crew show up here and do a primetime game in town next Saturday night. Again, that is reckless speculation? No, that is, let's call it a potentially knowledge-enhanced speculation that could just as easily be wrong. But the problem with ACC Network versus ESPN and all these channels right now, it has become much, much harder to predict game time because there's noon on ESPN, there's prime time on ACC Network. What's better than what? It's harder and harder to predict these things these days. So hang loose on that. We'll get the information to you one way or another as soon as we know it. It'll either be out there, once results happen throughout the day on Saturday, and ESPN and ACC can firm up their plans, or it'll be out there very, very early, one would presume, certainly by lunchtime at latest on Sunday. Either way, don't lock in your plans for next weekend yet until you know what time the game is. And either way, we will be here regardless of what else is going on, pregame, postgame, and minimum on CuseSportsTalk.com, and depending on what time it lands, and crunch games and whatnot on the radio as well. All right, let's get a break in. We continue to wait it out, try to get a little bit of Fran Brown before the midnight hour strikes with you tonight. Would love to get your calls in after this at 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. It's our DWITom.com post-game hotline. We'll do all that, much more after this here at Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. Jordan is furiously clicking on things. Oh, we got WAER's tweeting the presser here. Okay. Told McCord to keep pressing it. Truly apologize. Fran Brown quote, "I truly apologize to anyone who has an association with Syracuse University, the staff, faculty, alumni, and students." All right. Fran. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. On ESPN, Zach, a lot and a lot. I don't know. I've played on ESPN a lot. Yeah, it's all Jordan's fault. No onesie. It's actually all Mario's fault because he cropped Paulie out of Steve's video. Fran's coached 7 games, get money. He's coached 7 games. Oh, man. Is that commercial on again, B. Finnegan? Five. Would have been nice if Jaden Owen made that 48-yarder to cap it. That would have been nice. I don't file that under special teams disaster, though. Yeah, it was only 35, Theo Cuse. I got it, T. Murphy. hashtag let me know. Oh, Jordan's opening something. Jordan's clicking. Click, 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 click. Clickety, click, click, click. Clickety, click, click. He's clicking. Fran Brown sound. Fran Brown sound. Oh, that was compelling. Give me a little Fran Brown when we get back. Fran Brown! Yeah, GMAC. Should hire GMAC. Exactly. That's what I've been saying, LA Orange. That's what I've been saying. Should I hire GMAC? Fire Desco. Yeah, if you ignore the turnover stats, Syracuse dominated this game. Those pesky 35 points off turnovers, they'll get you every time. Yeah, that Gadsden one is tough for me. Wasn't a drop. Like, technically, it hit his fingers, but, man, like, it wasn't a bad throw. It was just a little long. Like, that would have been a fantastic catch if he had snagged it. Yeah, you're right, Ryan. Paulie's head's just slightly above it. Steve cropped him out. Like Chris Gedney always would say, like, if it touches your hand, I consider it a drop. That was always his thing. The Allen one was bad. But, you know, LeQuint never does that. Like, the one catch he had earlier was fantastic.
Burdick Ford, Burdick Toyota, Burdick BMW, and Burdick Lexus postgame show presented by One Group and Holbrook Heating and Air Conditioning. Call in now on the Tom and Ellie DWITom.com hotline, 315-437-7644.
Do that. Yeah, we answer the phones late. Jordan is standing by. His answering hand is at the ready. Give a ring, 315-437-7644 and DWITom.com hotline. We are open, willing, ready, and available to chat. But we know you want to hear some Fran Brown. As always, postgame presented by William Mattar. Hurt in the car, call William Mattar at 444-4444. This aired just moments ago over on the flagship for Syracuse University football, the Syracuse Sports Network from Learfield on TK99. Postgame, Matt Park with Fran Brown.
All right, guys, we're with Coach Brown in his office. And, Coach, you play in the big leagues, stuff like this, you're going to have bad days. What's your overview of what went down out there?
Pitt, they just did a real good job today. They had a number. Coach Narduzzi, he whipped our butt.
How do you message the team, and how long have you been thinking about that? You know you'd have to make a locker room speech there with the guys pretty down. There were high hopes about this game, and it was apparent from pretty early on it wasn't going your way.
Just tell them to just continue to focus. We got to stay on the same path that we've been on when it comes to just hard work, faith, and locking on dart. You know, we have everything it takes. We have all the pieces. Football just really didn't fall our way today, and you know, it's just how it happens like that, and they're a good football team, so got to just give them all the credit, man. They did an amazing job.
You're so great about your approach, and this is what we do every day. What's at your disposal here, and what do you think about? Do you think, hey, I got to change X, Y, Z, or is it keep on keeping on?
No, we just got to keep on keeping on. I mean, I felt like we fixed special teams, something that I thought was off, and we went really hard at that during the bye week. You see, they came after our punt. I thought we punted the ball pretty well. I just felt the ball bounced in their hands a few times, you know. I mean, you know, I wouldn't expect for them to have under 200 total yards of offense and have 41 points. So those things happen that way. I believe we have the best quarterback in the country, and I believe in him 100%, and the ball just didn't bounce that way. So, you know, it just happens that way, be able to push. But I think this is when you find out what kind of football team we are, what kind of coaching staff we have, and what kind of players. But I'm completely confident that we'll be able to bounce back from this.
Yeah, for the record, I think at least 3 of the 5 interceptions were on the hands of the intended target, and as you say, they could have been deflected a different way and have fallen to the turf incomplete as opposed to being interceptions. I know you're one that you're evaluating until there's 3 zeros on the clock, right?
Yeah,
So what's your observation the last few minutes? You started to get some subs in there, and what'd you think, and how important is that to message again to the team that all counts?
It was cool, like all the way up till it was still 7-something when I was on the clock and we had opportunity to score. My mindset was we got to score 4 more times. So until the end, where it was like 3-something, and then it kind of really sunk into like, dang, this is where it's at. So that's where I started having certain guys come out, different pieces of it. But I seen everybody fighting, and I just want these young men to keep their heads up and know that had nothing to do with them. Coach Narduzzi had Coach Fran's number today, and I just got to put them in better situations.
Well, that's your thought too, obviously, of having Kyle in the game the whole time. What was your thought process there? Did you ever think about making a change just to get the hits off him and that kind of thing, or what's the approach?
No, it just felt as though we was going to still score some more and trying to get there fast, and miracles happen, and I felt as though we could have had a miracle.
Anything to share on Aronde and Yasin, who neither were able to finish the game?
Aronde, it was something, he was just a little off. I'm not really sure. And then Yasin, it was something with his ankle, so I think he went and got x-rays. I didn't find out anything yet, but he said he heard it pop. He's a tough kid, so if he came out, it must be something, because he didn't even want to be on the ground. That's not who he is.
Yeah. All right, you got a little extra time here before getting ready, and it's back to the Dome after this month on the road, 2-1 in this stretch, Coach. So job well done here so far, and I know you'll pick up the pieces from here. So best of luck.
I appreciate that. Be safe.
That is Orange head coach Fran Brown. Guys.
All right, there he is, Fran Brown with Matt Park. Just heard over on TK99, part of the Syracuse Sports Network, from Learfield broadcast tonight, emanating from Pittsburgh. That is our post-game Fran Brown, presented by William Mattar. Hurt in the car. Call William Mattar. Very, I'd say, a typical Fran post-game chat there. The one quote from his post-game press conference, I read it to the chat earlier. I'll read it to you now. This is courtesy of WAER Sports tweeting it. Fran Brown, quote, "I just truly apologize to anyone who has an association with Syracuse University, the staff, faculty, alumni, and students." End quote. Quote again, "The ball just didn't go our way today. I have to prepare us better so that we can get some more balls to go our way," etc., etc., etc. It's how Fran handles these things, right? It's very consistent messaging. It's all on Coach Fran. I will say this, Pat Narduzzi, he's a defensive guy. Man, they had it schemed up real nice. Like those zone blitzes tonight, whoo-hoo! And Syracuse's offensive line was not remotely ready to deal with that early on. I know all of the credit and all of the blame lands on the quarterback, as, that's just what football is these days with Kyle McCord. He was under siege early. And, I'll be interested to see if there's any tweaks made. We saw David Woolaba in at left tackle as the game went along late. We saw a change made at center at one point with Josh Aloha coming in the game. Obviously it was all out of hand at that point. And, we'll see how it goes. And I think we were all holding our breath a little bit on McCord still being in the game later and later and later. I know Fran hasn't been here, but we've all watched Syracuse's quarterback get hurt late in games a lot. Garrett Schrader, Eric Dungy, Tommy DeVito. Like, we've seen it. We were worried. Looked like Kyle came at it okay. I don't like that Yasin Willis is hearing pops. And no official diagnosis yet on Aronde. I don't know if it was a concussion, a stinger, or something like that. My view on the replay, it looked like he took a helmet to the back of the neck and then didn't come out back in the game. So it looked like he was trying to shake his hands out, get feeling back in his hands, which can be symptoms of a stinger type thing. But again, that is speculation. That is not anything we know yet. So hopefully nothing too serious for either Willis or Gadsden. The Orange getting very, very thin in the running back room. If Willis is hurt, obviously you've got LeQuint. But Will Nixon already done for the season. After Yasin went down late, we saw some briefly. He was in the game. I don't think he got a carry. The other true freshman in Jaden Hart. Yeah, no carries today for Hart. The Orange only ran the ball for 6 yards in the game today. Removed the sack yardage, and you can increase that to a whopping 38 whole yards in the game today. All right, phone lines open, 315-437-7644, DWITom.com postgame hotline. Let's get you this Orange Insight powered by Staff Leasing. And the insight I'm going to give you today is you need all of the stats to tell the full story of a game, right? Total yards tonight. Syracuse, 327. Pittsburgh, 217. Passing yards tonight. Syracuse, 321. Pittsburgh, 144. First downs tonight, Syracuse 23, Pittsburgh 13. Syracuse on third down, 6 of 20, Pitt 2 of 9. On fourth down, Syracuse 6 of 7, Pitt did not attempt one. Total plays run in the game, Syracuse 93 and Pittsburgh 44. Yep. Time of possession into the game, Syracuse 41 minutes and 12 seconds, Pittsburgh 18 minutes and 48 seconds. All of that tells the story of a game that Syracuse won 41-13. All of that except the most important stat in all of football, and that is turnovers. Syracuse, 5 of them, all interceptions. Kyle McCord matching the school record for interceptions in a game. Todd Hurley had 5 versus Penn State in 82. Greg Paulus had 5 versus USF in 09. And Kyle McCord 5 tonight against Pittsburgh. All 5 of them, all 5 of the interceptions resulted in touchdowns either immediately, 3 pick sixes in the first half. Never seen anything like that in my life. The other 2 interceptions were Pittsburgh's only touchdowns from scrimmage today. So 5 turnovers for the Orange, 0 for Pitt. Points off turnover margin tonight, 35-0 in a 41-13 loss. The Orange defense played very well. It did not matter a wink tonight because of that. And that is our Orange Insight, powered by Staff Leasing. Let Staff Leasing handle the heavy lifting when it comes to HR and payroll so you can concentrate on scoring big in your industry. Visit staffleasinghr.com to learn more about how they can help your business stay in the game. All right, man, we are all over the place. We are all over the place through other calls. We've gone New York City. We've gone L.A. Now we're taking a pit stop at least somewhere vaguely near Chicago. I don't know where Deerfield is in the state of Illinois, but that's where we're going right now. We got Ronnie in Deerfield, Illinois. Hey, Ronnie, what's going on?
What's up? How you doing?
Very good. What's on your mind?
Well, man, I'm just trying to take this game in. You know, it's I've been playing that college football 25 game, and I thought it was impossible to get 3 interceptions, 3 pick sixes in the first 6-7 minutes. Man, Kyle McCord proved me wrong. You know, all these Ohio State fans that, you know, I'm friends with have basically said, oh, you know, you have Kyle McCord, we're happy we don't have him anymore and all this stuff. And, you know, I've made them look silly for the first 2 months, and now I'm getting the last laugh. So it was just a pathetic performance on basically every scale, starting with the offensive line, gave Kyle absolutely 0 time to do anything, bunch of block passes from the start. The running game had nothing. The defense, you know, played well in aspects, but let me ask you, is there anything the defense did that actually, like, was spectacular? I mean, because they didn't really cause many turnovers or anything, right?
I mean, they did not cause any turnovers. I'd say it's kind of hard to grade the defense in the game since they weren't on the field for so much. I thought, you know, Marlo Wax in his first game back, I thought he might play at spot duty. He was out there basically the whole time. I thought he looked pretty solid. They had that one bogus penalty called against him. Yeah, I was reasonably pleased, I'd say, Roddy, with the defensive effort tonight. It's just the way the game unfolded, unfortunately, it didn't really matter.
And then my other problem is that, you know, we're in the fourth quarter here. You know, obviously it was like 38-6. We're going to lose this game. I mean, we're having Kyle McCord still throw the ball down the field, getting sacked multiple times and stuff. You're going to kill the guy. I mean, he's already gotten 5 interceptions. He lost all of his confidence whatsoever. Is there any benefit in keeping a guy who's been in college football for 5 years now in the last 8 minutes? I mean, we've got young guys who need to gain experience for the, you know, upcoming seasons and whatsoever. So I was just very surprised and dumbfounded that the coaching staff didn't let another quarterback just take the reins for the last quarter or so.
Yeah, that seems to be a, you know, good, bad, or otherwise, Ronnie. That seems to be Fran Brown. Like, he is a keep fighting until the game is over kind of guy. And it's worrisome, right? Because we've all seen we saw Garrett Schrader, we see Syracuse quarterbacks get injured all the time. So we're all thinking one thing. Fran approaches it differently. We were all holding our breath. Yeah, I would have taken McCord out, but, you know, Fran approaches those things differently, good, bad, or otherwise, it seems like.
Yeah, well, let me ask you. So this last month, obviously we got 4 more conference games. We got the UConn game. Is there any chance to do anything special outside of just making a mediocre to good bowl game? Like, is there anything else we can do? I mean, we missed our opportunities twice now. The Stanford game and this game to get in the top 25, it just seems like it's kind of empty now with like opportunities to really make a mark on the season. And look, it's still great stuff, and Kyle for the most part's been good, and I love Fran and what he's trying to build here. But is there anything that we can really do to really stamp the season?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends how you phrase that. Like, are they going to make the ACC title game or the college football playoff? No, they're not. They could you could win out, and you still probably wouldn't be in the ACC title game or the college football playoff. But if you can get to 8 or 9 regular season wins, like that is something. Like Syracuse in the last 25 years has had 2 seasons with 8 or more regular season wins. 2. In a quarter century. If you can go 8-4 this year, I know it's not exciting to people after 5-1 could have been 6-0. If you can somehow go 8-4 in this regular season, is it like national attention grabbing exciting? No, but it's a thing that doesn't happen around here often, and I think it would be a very positive step. So I think there's 2 ways to look about it, Ronnie.
I know, I understand that. Just 2 things about that I was trying to get at. One is that, I don't love bringing up schedules, but to be fair, our win projection start the season with 7.5 just because of, the obvious non-con schedule where we have no power opponents, and then the ACC schedule, which looks different now because I don't like those preseason totals. Pitt is a lot better than people thought. Even opponents down the line like Boston College are better. But what I really is bringing up is for the recruiting. Some of these recruits who are, still kind of wavering their decisions. There's a lot of guys who are considering Syracuse. A game like this, in my opinion, is a bad look for a potential very strong recruiting class that was once in the top 10 in the summer, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was due to volume at the time more than anything. Yeah. That was always going to drive. But yes, to your point, yes, obviously games like this are not great for recruiting, but my guess of how Fran Brown's going to attack it, I bet he'll be at some high school game or something tomorrow night, like is how he'll respond to this stuff.
100%. And, man, I just got to say, I'm a freshman at Syracuse, so it's not like I've been a Syracuse fan for long, but I've enjoyed it. Coach, I haven't experienced the Dino Babers era. A lot of people who are glad that's over with. So we're lucky to have Fran. He's a great guy. I've taken a picture with him. So we have a great future, and it's just disappointing that we ran into the speed bump today with all the interceptions. But I'm glad you took my call, and look to talk to you guys soon.
All right, thanks, Ronnie. Do call again. There he is, Ronnie, a freshman at the Cuse from Deerfield, Illinois, slightly north of Chicago. So we're what's market number 4? We've hit the top 3 now. Oh yeah, this is big city stuff here in the post game. All right, let's get our last break out of the way. You can sneak another call in before the midnight hour at 315-437-7644. Last licks when we come back. We'll look ahead best we can to Virginia Tech. And we'll put the wrap on our commiserating tonight. Back after this on our post-game coverage on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. Oh, yeah, the chat is popping tonight. We're going on the YouTubes. We're going in the Twitches. Well, get money. You're assuming he's saying the same thing to the team that he is to the public. I don't believe you, Scott Higgs. Scott Higgs is not watching the next game. I don't believe you. How about that?
I call shenanigans.
Yeah. Shenanigans? Did you say shenanigans?
Oh, no. Whoa! Pal of mine who's like a real big fan, goes to a bunch of the games, like fairly well known on Twitter, but I won't throw his name out there. But he was like, I might
Jim Boeheim.
Close.
Okay, almost said
it. He was like, I'm thinking about canceling the BC trip after that, which is just crazy.
It's Boston. Go to the North End. Get yourself some Italian food.
We've had some great callers tonight, though. I will say, we're
a lot of new callers tonight. We're countrywide.
Yeah.
All we need is a call from like Tokyo or something.
I wonder if the YouTube is getting more people a hold of the station line.
Could be. We got like pretty equal crowds here going on the Twitch and the YouTube right now.
Hounded this Gatorade.
Oh yeah, hydration is key. Yeah, it's daddy ball. Oh man, yeah, and the onesie. It's all Jordan's fault with no onesie.
Oh, dude, people like. What's scary about this is I think people who weren't even in the chat that day know about this onesie.
Yeah. What's crazy is I until Scooter mentioned that earlier today, I had completely forgotten about it.
Damn it, Scooter!
And you also, I mean, clearly you didn't bring it.
I forgot.
Yeah, Scooter mentioned it. I'm like, oh no,
sorry.
the onesie.
There's no excuse, but this was like the beginning of a real busy stretch, where, I'm just going to let the excuses roll and then everybody can lay it on me. But, we have an employee who's going to be out for a couple weeks. So I got a crunch game tomorrow. We got the exhibition game Saturday.
There's a lot of things happening.
High school sports show is starting back up again Sunday. So this was like the beginning of a big 4-day stretch for me.
Yeah.
And I forgot about the onesie to really make it all perfect.
Jordan,
and I apologize.
Yeah, Jordan is the host of a potentially award-winning public affairs show.
That too.
Yeah.
We're struggling with that. I'm waiting on an email back from my girl Kat. But that's okay.
I mean, he's been staring at his email all day long, just distraught. Like, click, click, click.
You know what? This is Paulie's fault.
It's Paulie's fault.
Paulie deciding to simulcast the tailgate hour on ESPN made it so I didn't get to go home and get the onesie.
That's true. It is Paulie's fault. We needed an extra button pusher.
I would have walked my little dog and gotten my onesie on.
Yeah. The onesie was an elite play last time because I did not know you were going to actually do it. Yeah. And you just walked in wearing the onesie.
You thought I was going to say it and then not do it?
Well, you said it, and then it was like I forgot about it, and then you walked in the room with the onesie on, so it was a very funny review. Because you walked in the building without the onesie on.
Yeah. It was a real good play.
And then I didn't see you for like an hour, and then you walked in with the onesie on.
I don't stream at LA Orange. I don't think any of our because it's on at 6 a.m., so I don't think
6 a.m.
streaming
Sunday
anywhere
on every station we have.
I do post a podcast. T-Takes I do our public affairs show, which airs on all our stations at 6 a.m. Sundays, where I chat with someone from a nonprofit. And then last year I started hosting a high school sports show at 9 a.m. on Sundays as well. That's live.
We call it Jordan Sundays.
Yeah. The guy I hosted with, his name's Ryan Story. He's real good. He's real talented. He finds a way to just cover all the high school sports. We are not going to be doing any shows for the exhibition games, Zach.
Yeah, no for the exhibition games. Yes, for the rest of the season.
At the game, we won't be streaming post-game here, but I plan to stream it on our Twitter account at Cuse Sports Talk _.
Get it?
And I'll have the live updates. And yeah, thanks, T-Takes. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all staying up.
Jordan Sundays.
That sounds...
Wow. Cherry on top.
And Holbrook Heating and Air Conditioning. Call in now on the Tom and Ellie DWITom.com hotline. 315-437-7644.
All right, you can still beat the midnight hour with a phone call if you act fast. 315-437-7644. We're cruising from 11 till midnight tonight. Okay. We also need to take care of one final piece of business, and that's improving the team from Wadham's Enterprises. Oh, whoa, Nelly. Step one to improving the team before the next game. Throw fewer pick sixes. Today, 3. The optimal number of pick sixes in a football game, if you are to succeed, is 0. So today, 3. 0 would be preferred. Steve from North Syracuse in the chat, who we heard call in earlier, pointed out I overestimated the points off turnovers. I got caught up counting. Pittsburgh did not have 35 points off turnovers today. That would be absurd. They only had 31 points off turnovers today. One of their touchdowns came not off a turnover. One of their field goals came off a turnover. Their kicker's pretty good. That Ben Sauls. Wow. Woo! He's got a cannon. He hit from 57 and 49 tonight, like just casually. And he's a lefty. And the Giants get him? Man, I like that guy. So what can Syracuse do to improve the team before next game? I'll say this. Trevor Pena back. That was a surprise today. That was good news. Pena ended up 5 catches, 51 yards. A reasonable Trevor Pena game. Marlo Wax back. He looked, best I could tell, pretty solid. He had just only 2 tackles today. It felt like more. But he was the penalty was just ridiculous. But he was in there the whole time pretty much. So good to see him back. I will note this. Justin Barron had the green dot helmet communication helmet on today. So I wonder if he's going to keep that. Will it go back to Marlo? Something to keep an eye on during the Virginia Tech game next week. Defense, I thought, was pretty solid today. Kind of hard to judge off a game like this. But defense was good. They've been improving as the year goes along. And what can you say about the offense? The offensive line was a mess today. Kyle McCord had the worst game of his life. I mean, probably literally of his life. Kyle, he's a stand-up dude. We're super psyched for the Kyle McCord Show, live exclusively on CuseSportsTalk.com this upcoming Tuesday. We love talking to people after they've had the worst game of their life. But Kyle, I'm sure Kyle will take it all on himself. We'll try to lighten the mood a little bit on Tuesday. We'll have passed the 24-hour rule by that point. By a wide margin. I'll be intrigued to ask Kyle. He told us the one time he wears the thing on his wrist that tracks it, like gives him a sleep score. I'm going to guess his sleep score the next couple days is going to be poor. So improving the team. Let's get back to first 6 games, Kyle. Not today, Kyle. Forget Little League, Kyle. We want first half of the season, Kyle. That all said, 7th straight 300-yard game tonight. I don't know. Improving the team. Don't do that again. There's improving the team. There's improving the team from Wadhams Enterprises. Wadhams Enterprises is improving their team. They have home daily CDLA driving positions available for experienced drivers and also offer CDLA training at no cost with a job waiting upon completion. Call recruiting at 800-334-1314. That's 800-334-1314. It's his call recruiting today. I don't recommend that. There's a minute and 20 seconds left in today. That seems too fast. All right, next up, Virginia Tech next Saturday. Time is... I don't know. That'll be coming out late Saturday, early Sunday, depending on other results this weekend. Regardless of the time, pregame, I'll be out at Shaughnessy's at the Marriott Syracuse downtown 3 hours prior to kickoff next Saturday. We'll rock it out from there. Postgame per normal, calls, Fran Brown presser live for a home game, all that good stuff coming up with Virginia Tech, Cuse back in the Dome for the first time in more than a month next weekend. Tomorrow, normal schedule here on the radio, Orange Nation at noon. I don't know if Paulie will be back. Paulie doesn't know if we'll be back. It'll be probably Jordan and Steve tomorrow. Steve will be here. Somebody will talk to Steve. Newhouse afternoon at 2. Sports show with Cody Mack at 3. I'll commiserate with you some more coming up at 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll get Eric Dungy's thoughts on the show as well coming up tomorrow. With that, thanks all staying up late night, be it on the radio, be it on Cuse Sports Talk, CuseSportsTalk.com on the Twitch, the Cuse Sports Talk on the YouTube. Great crowds, great chat, and both great calls from literally coast to coast. Get some sleep, everybody. Show up late to work tomorrow. Tell your boss I said so, and then don't give him my number. Talk to you all tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, right here, Cuse Sports Talk, ESPN Radio.
The 315 with Brian Higgins.